Yeah, two Zen classics. These are two of the great heart of Zen teachings, really. The Mumonkan and the Hekiganroku. Nice Japanese words. And these are basically collections of koans, two different sets of koans. Koan study is a very, very specialised thing. You really often don't undertake it unless you're doing it with someone who really, really knows how to work with koans. They can be very misunderstood. And a koan basically is a phrase or a word to work with, to keep in mind, and to work with and to see what happens. Often the mistake is made that there are correct answers to these. They sound like little questions that you should figure out and understand, and then you get the right answer. And these have been around for hundreds of years, and there are no right answers. However, someone brought out a book a few years ago with all the supposed right answers. So it's a great misunderstanding. Some of the sutras say things like, turning away and touching are both wrong, because it's like a massive fire. Just to depict it in literary form is to relegate it to defilement. In other words, if you keep thinking you're getting it, you're not. They're grasping and trying to conceptualize what's going on is one remove already from what's actually going on. There's a very, very good explanation of that in here, particularly for the folks that are studying precepts. There's some great stuff in here. So I thought I would just share with you the very, very first case in Mumonkan. And I have two copies of this. And this is the one that came off the shelf at me this morning. And I was very moved when I was looking through it on the bus and found notes in it from Suzuki Roshi. So it's Suzuki Roshi's book, and I have no idea. Suzuki Roshi, for those that don't know, was the Japanese priest that brought over Zen practice to San Francisco. So we have some of his original notes in here. So. Okay, I'll just read this because it actually expresses it a lot better than I do. Buddhism makes mind its foundation and no gate its gate. How do you pass through this no gate? It's said that things coming in through the gate can never be your own treasures. What is gained from external circumstances will perish in the end. However, such a saying is already raising waves when there is no wind. It's cutting unblemished skin. As for those who try to understand through other people's words, they are striking at the moon with a stick, scratching a shoe, whereas it's the foot that itches. What concern have they for the truth? In the summer of the first year of Jotei, Ekai was in Ryusho Temple, and as head monk worked with the other monks, using the cases of ancient masters as brickbats to batter the gate and lead them on according to their respective capacities. The text was written down not according to any scheme, but just to make a collection of 48 cases. It's called Mumonkan, the Gateless Gate. The person of determination will unflinchingly push their way straight forward, regardless of all dangers. Even the 8-armed Naga cannot hinder him. Even the 4 sevens of the west and the 2 3s of the east would beg for their lives. If one has no determination, then it will be like catching a glimpse of a horse galloping past the window. In the twinkling of an eye, it will be gone. The great way is gateless, approached in 1,000 ways. Once past this checkpoint, you stride through the universe. So here's the very first case, and even if you think you've never heard a koan before, you've probably heard this one. And these are basically questions of monks to the teacher, or two monks discussing a particular part of the way. So here's the one that you probably all have heard of. Case number 1. Joshu's Moo. A monk asked Joshu, "Has a dog Buddha nature?" Joshu answered, "Moo." And Mumon kindly wrote us a comment to help us to go into this. In order to master Zen, you must pass the barrier of the patriarchs. The patriarchs are all our ancestors. To attain this subtle realization, you must completely cut off the way of thinking. Now, what am I saying every Friday? Stop thinking, stop paying attention to that thinking. If you do not pass the barrier and do not cut off the way of thinking, then you will be like a ghost, clinging to the bushes and the weeds. Now, I want to ask you, what is the barrier of the patriarchs? Why, it's a single word, Mu. That is the front gate to Zen. Therefore, it's called the Mumonkan of Zen. If you pass through it, you will not only see Joshu face to face, but you will also go hand in hand with all the ancestors, entangling your eyebrows with theirs, seeing with the same eyes, hearing with the same ears. Isn't that a delightful prospect? Wouldn't you like to pass this barrier? Arouse your entire body with its 360 bones and joints and its 84,000 pores of the skin. Summon up a spirit of great doubt and concentrate on this word, Mu. Carry it continuously, day and night. Don't form a nihilistic conception of vacancy or a relative conception of has or has not. It will be just as if you swallowed a red-hot iron ball, which you cannot spit out even if you try. All the illusory ideas and delusive thoughts accumulated up to the present will be exterminated. And when the time comes, internal and external will be spontaneously united. You will know this for yourself only. Then all of a sudden an explosive conversion will occur, and you will astonish the heavens and shake the earth. The dog, the Buddha nature, the pronouncement perfect and final. Before you say it has or has not, you're a dead man on the spot. And just a couple of notes, and there's one that I particularly want to read here about what we're actually doing in Zazen. So Joshu, who we just read about, is one of the greatest Zen masters. He had his first experience of Kensho, or realization, when he was 17 years old. His description of this experience was, "Suddenly I was ruined and homeless." That is to say, he was thrown into great emptiness. This emptiness has a special meaning in Zen. It can be a matured emptiness only when one has acquired the wisdom. So, the part that I thought is particularly interesting, it goes on to talk about being